All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. Man, this is a birdie fest.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Philly
Let's go.
All right, good morning and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, episode 207.
Ooh.
And this podcast is sponsored by Comcast Business, introducing ultimate speed for business, the fastest internet plans yet from Comcast Business, powering possibilities, also all access GTE, the Pen Club on 2nd, where we'll go to the course of course a little bit later today, and DraftKings Sportsbook, where we will see the line. But we are down one today. I'm Harry Mays. She is Danielle Matthews, and Moose is
in Babyland.
He's in Babyland. Why don't you tell us about what's happening with Moose here today, Danielle? Because this is the day, right?
It is the day. Well, you never know with that type of thing, but we think, what is the date? November 13th is when Moose's fourth daughter will enter the world. So Rebecca she's slated to have her baby today. So best of wishes to the Moore family, adding another potential LPGA player to the group.
Yeah, congratulations to Team Moose, and I'm glad he got all his golf in. He was on tour basically this year, and
America's guest.
That comes to a halt today.
For a week, and then us wonderful wives just say, get back out there. And
I don't know about that. I think he's gonna have to, budget his time at the Legacy Club, because I don't think it's going to be that extensive.
Well, Harry, I mean, talk about planning. How good is Moose? Like, entering the fall season, I know you guys have had exceptional weather up there, but having a baby in November is, it's like perfect timing for him.
Well, that exceptional weather is over. It's freezing today. And I mean, when you say it's freezing, it's like 68 degrees. I'm serious. It's freezing here today. It's cold. The wind is up. It's like 20-some-mile-an-hour gusts of winds. It's brutal. It's time to get into the simulator, and we'll talk about the Pen Club a little bit later. But we got to catch up. We've been
oh my God,
we
on
missed
hiatus.
The Worldwide Technologies Championship at El Cardinal at Diamante in Mexico, Tiger Woods' golf course. And one of the friends of the show got his second PGA Tour win last week, Austin Eckroat. How about that?
Yeah, that was incredible watching it too. I know Moose had texted our little group text here just saying like Austin, and we were watching, and my guy Justin Lauer too, and Max Grazerman, he's been on the radar. I know he's been on your radar, Harry. Yeah. We got to try to get him on here, but just watching, and then you just see Austin kind of run away with it. What was it, 11 birdies? Yeah,
he had 11 birdies in the final round, shot 9 under that day, a 63 on Sunday, 24 under for the week, one shot clear of, you mentioned Justin Lauer, and Carson Young also with the great mustache. Love Carson Young's mustache. Max Grazerman, you mentioned, was 2 back at 22 under and got 4th by himself. But I don't know if you were aware of this, because I wasn't until I read it, but Austin Eckroat made a putter switch from the last time that he won, which was over at Palm Beach Gardens right down the street from you. He switched his Ping Redwood D66 to a Ping PLD DZB. Say that 3 times fast.
I'll leave that up to you. I did hear him, though, in the post-game interview, though, Harris, saying I think it was the first time in 13 years that he's won a tournament on any type of level, obviously not PGA Tour, with a different putter. And then he I believe it was Kira interviewing him and kind of asked a little, to elaborate a little bit more on his putter. And he goes, hey, it's still not safe. Who knows? He goes, I'm a serial switcher. It'll probably be switched out, next week.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I mean, these guys, they've got putters galore, right? And they're always trying something. They're always, tweaking something to try to get, tinkering, I guess is the word, especially when you're talking about putters. But, it's amazing how fickle it is,
it really is.
With that instrument, more so, I guess, than any other club in the bag. But his opening 9, he shot 31 with a bogey on the 3rd hole. And the closing 9, he started it with birdies at 10, 11, and 12, really put his foot on the gas. And then made a birdie at 14 and also on 17. And then, had a 3-shot lead heading to the 18th where he could even bogey the hole, which he did. and missed the green, tried to make a chip up, and it rolled right back almost to his feet, and then got it on and two putted from there for a 6 on that par 5. But that was still an easy win, really. And he didn't really have to sweat it. And you brought up Justin Lauer. There was an interesting development in the final round regarding Justin. The par 4 10th hole was set up with the tees forward, and it was drivable for a lot of the players in the field, should they choose to. I mean, these guys can all basically hit it far enough. Justin Lauer chose to lay up. And I remember, as it was happening, the broadcasters, to their credit, made note of it. Like, this is a really interesting choice here. He ended up making par on that hole. His wedge shot in was a good 30, 40 feet away from the pin. Made a nice lag putt, trying to make it, obviously, but it ended up being a really good lag where you could tap in for par. But that was an interesting decision.
I agree, Harry. We're not playing basketball, right? And
yeah.
With Justin, he's been, for lack of better words, I guess, a bubble boy is what they were kind of dubbing him. I saw his wife, Janice, put out, right here. So 2017 they call him literally the bubble boy. So this isn't me naming him that. 2017 makes a 10-footer to advance through Q School, earns guaranteed status on Korn Ferry Tour. 2018 missed a 6-footer at Korn Ferry Tour finals that would have earned him his PGA Tour card. 2021 gets up and down on the final hole of the Korn Ferry Tour finals to earn his PGA Tour card. 2022 entered the final event of the regular season, number 128 in FedEx Cup standings. Once again, the position for make or break. And he ends the season number 138, doesn't qualify for playoffs. And then starting before this tournament, he was currently 95th in the FedEx Fall standings, and a win would vault him to 57, which, obviously we know what happens when you finish inside that top 50 with those signature events. Yeah. So that would have been huge. Just his career has been just so up and down and literally flirting with the bubble the entire time. He's such a good player.
Yeah.
But it's just been like, flirting with heartbreak again and again, year after year. So he's such a good player.
And a good guy too.
Great
I
guy,
imagine.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, it really, highlights how razor thin the margins are out there. I mean, to stay on the tour and, bouncing around from, Korn Ferry to status on the PGA and back and forth, and comes down to, one shot. He could have been in a playoff with Eckroat, and who knows?
Yeah, if he didn't lay up. Yeah, this is job security for these guys, literally. And it's, Austin kind of led on to that too. He said, look, like I woke up this morning, I thought maybe I'd be a little nervous, but he's like, hey, you won out here before. And, that's, I think once you have one of those under your belt, you're like, okay, I've done this, you know? So I think Justin's getting there. He's close. He's due. We're going to see him continue to be up at the top couple, levels of the leaderboard.
And, he's Justin's back in the field this week, too, in Bermuda, so maybe he can pull that one off. But how about what happened on the PGA Tour Champions? We don't talk a lot about that tour. I mean, not, it's really kind of an afterthought, in the world of golf, for a large extent. But Bernhard Langer, who is just a machine.
He owns the PGA Tour Champions.
He really does. They should really rename it. They should rename the trophy that they give, at the
Langer
end.
Trophy.
Yeah, it should be the Bernhard Langer Trophy, really, because he survived 3 bogeys on his inward 9, but made birdie on 13 and 1 on 18. The final hole, courtesy of a 30-foot putt, that gave him his 47th win on PGA Tour Champions, which is more than anybody, and kept his win streak alive at 18 years. He's won an event on that tour every year he's been on it. This guy's, he's 67, 68 years old, and he just keeps going. He had the Achilles tear, which, would devastate most people, especially at that age.
Oh, yeah.
And here he comes back to win, which really kind of pushed Stephen Alker's win aside. He finished T2, but won the whole cup. He won the Schwab Cup, and everybody's talking about Bernhard Langer winning for the 18th straight year. How about that?
How impressive is that? One win a year. I mean,
it's incredible.
Let's just grab one a year. It sounds, to the non-golf junkie, it's like, oh, okay, once a year, but that's hard.
Yeah,
nobody does that.
Well, especially on that tour, because the guys that turn 50 are automatically the favorites, basically,
yeah.
to win the event because they hit the ball farther. Like the young, and this guy's been there for 18 years and he's still competing with these guys, that are hitting it farther than him. Like the Stuart Sinks and the Padraig Harringtons of the world. Steve Stricker. Those guys are younger. They're in their early 50s, and to win at that advanced age with that level of competition. It's incredible. I can't get over that guy. He's an inspiration. He really is to all of us old people. And I'm speaking for myself. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, we got a lot to get to today, but I wanted to tee you up for the tea segment here because before we take our break. Yes.
I love it. Well, there's so many different things going on, especially since we took a little bit of break. So we can get into a bunch of these and then we can kind of have some off conversations if you want, Harry.
Absolutely.
Just keep it a little open conversation. But Liv, let's start with that. All right. We'll start a little light and keep it funny that, President-elect Donald Trump says that he could get the Liv and PIF deal done. He said, he thinks in like 15 minutes. He goes, give me 15 minutes, maybe less. I can get this done. So I don't know about that. If he could, let's see it. But he said, I think it'll come together. Yeah, I could certainly help, but I'm not doing his voice correct.
Right.
But I could probably get it done. I would say it would take me the better part of 15 minutes to get that deal done. So we'll see if Donald Trump has any pull in the Liv and PIF. Rory also, or Liv and PGA Tour, pardon me. Rory also said, hey, I think, Donald Trump could get this done, but I don't know if anybody's really paying attention, but I don't think Rory can vote. Well, I don't think Rory had a decision.
Well, right. But I did see, that's where I saw it. Rory was quoted as saying, like, if a deal can get done now that, Trump won the election, we could probably get it done. I didn't see where Donald actually commented on it, but
he did.
That is interesting. Yeah. Well,
and when I was researching that news a little bit more, it was funny. I saw this video clip of saying Donald Trump, quite possibly the most athletic president ever. And I'm like, this is hilarious because George Bush, now watch me hit this drive,
Yeah,
like, right. But and then they have Donald, they have President-elect's shot tracer, or pardon me, like his swing, and you see him bring it back, do this ugly little hook up at the top, and then bring it through, but it goes straight down the middle. He does a little lasso move. It was kind of funny. So I don't know that he's the most athletic, but we will see. So
well, he's got more club head speed than Mark Cuban. Apparently, that's something that we do know. For what it's worth. But I did see, though, since we last did an episode 2 weeks ago, that there was a British tabloid that was quoted as saying a deal is basically done. And, they credited Rory and Tiger Woods. And then Rory was asked about it, and he's like, that's news to me. So, I don't know what's really going on here. But when I saw that, I was like, man,
this I texted you guys that. I was like, hey, but then it was like
true.
silent everywhere else. So I was like, what's going on? So
I was looking for other sources to like quote it and corroborate it, and nobody ever did. Now we know why.
And honestly, Harry, I think we've talked about it before. In the beginning, we were like, okay. And, we're kind of like waited on, we're like bated breath, like what's going to come next. But I'm over it. Until something is done, we have hard, firm news. Stop the little clickbait. Like, I don't want to hear it. So
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But with Liv, a couple things that I kind of fell under the radar with. Obviously, they just dropped their new 2025 schedule. We don't need to really get into it. It's nothing exciting, in my opinion, but Korea and Indianapolis headline 6 more events. And they said more events are dropping soon. But I thought that this was interesting. And I don't know if you know anything about it, Hera, but it says, we're excited to announce Liv Golf Promotions. And the tournament will be December 12th through 14th at Riyadh Golf Club with 4 rounds played over 3 days.
Oh, Riyadh? Is it Riyadh?
Riyadh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pardon me on that enunciation. So at Riyadh. And I'm assuming this is kind of like Liv Q School, but they're calling it Liv Golf Promotion. So the top finisher is guaranteed a spot in 2025 Liv Golf League. The top 10 finishers will earn full exemption into the rest of the season. So interesting to see how that plays out and what that is. And it said registration for Liv Golf Promotions, or Q School, if you will, closes in 7 days. That was 2 days ago. So I don't know, Hare, if you want to go register, see if you can get yourself a spot on Liv.
Well, are they only taking one?
Well, the winner, right? Okay. So it's just like Q school. Right. Like in Q school, if you finish top, like depending on which Q school you're, if it's for PGA Tour, number one will get full status, and then you get like conditional status. Yeah. So it literally, like I said, unfortunately I was trying to do some research, couldn't find out more, but it's what that seems like is that it is Live Q school. And they're calling it the Live INT Series Golf. Yep. Live Golf Promotions. But and then I followed them to look at that, and they have like rankings and things of that nature, but nothing too crazy. So that's that with Live. One other thing actually with Live is I wonder if this is kind of like the Penn Club in a way, or if you could play it at the Penn Club. It's called the New Golf Rival. Live Golf Tournament has dropped. Test your skills on unique courses for your chance to win great rewards. I don't know. You can download Golf Rival and start playing. So if it's on your phone and you're, playing golf with your finger, I'm not for it. But if you can play it at the Penn Club and check it out and get some rankings or something, that might be cool.
Well, the other thing I saw regarding Live was that they allegedly, or Jason Day's agent reached out to Live to pursue, the possibilities of joining Live Golf, and Live was not interested in Jason Day's services because he's injured too often. Was the reason? How about that?
Really?
I mean, isn't he a former world number one player? He's got a major, he's got a Players Championship. They weren't interested.
And now you're saying that's wild. But again, is there truth to this?
Hurt a lot.
Yeah.
He had the vertigo. He's always got a lot of, like neck and back issues and so forth. So, if it's true, I don't know. I don't know if anything's true anymore.
It's a new tagline. No babies.
Hey, unless you confirm it.
No confirmation on my end. I don't know.
Right.
If I was in their position, I'd think, their whole kind of motive, from what it seemed to me, was just getting these superstars. And I think J-Day would pull, more fans, but especially if they're, going to different locations, go to Australia or something like that. Yeah. But, we don't want him. He's hurt. Next.
Yeah, next. Exactly. So, all right. Any more tea?
Oh, yeah. So Bryson DeChambeau, did you see this? First of all, his Dallas mansion. I mean, talk about living in a glass house. It's like, this guy shouldn't throw stones, but he's not throwing stones. He's hitting wedge shots over his mansion in Dallas. And
I didn't see that. Where's that? Where was that?
Oh, yeah. You can see it on his YouTube. You can see it on his Instagram, or you can go to Nuclear Golf and see it as well. Okay. And at first I saw it and I'm like, no, because he almost aces it, Harry. He hits a shot over top of his house, and then it lands about a foot or so. And when I see it, I'm like, okay, like they clearly, just took the first shot and then threw the ball down and made it look like it. But no, somebody was standing up on the roof and got the entire shot going over, and he literally stuck it to like a foot. So it was kind of cool. He almost aced it, but I was like, wow, if that's my house.
Check that out. That's on his YouTube channel.
Yep. Yeah, but and his Instagram too. So you can check that out. But if I'm living in that house, I am most certainly not trusting myself to hit that shot. We'd have a couple broken windows.
I think he can afford new windows if he breaks one or two of them.
He could afford a whole new house if he wanted to.
Exactly.
And even if he gets hurt, Liv isn't kicking him
I can't get enough
too.
of Bryson. I got to go check that out. I love watching him now.
It's funny how his character, if you will, has evolved from PGA Tour and, a young sensation to Live. And now he's so enthralled in the content and putting it out. It's like, you just have to watch. Like you said, you can't get enough. It's exciting. And he's smart, or his team is smart, and they know what the people want to see.
Yeah. And the people, a lot of people are like, us here, because I've done a 180 on him in the past 6-8 months.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way, because there's times where, and I've done that with a few players, but you're like, he's kind of annoying, or like, I don't like this. But then you see his personality, and he humanizes himself, and I think he's done a great job of doing that. And then he's entertaining, so it's like, okay, yeah, what he did after the Masters, I think he earned a bunch of fans there.
No doubt. And now he was never to the Bo Hostler level of annoying for me, but he was close. And now I did a total 180 where I cannot get enough. So that's where we are.
Bryson, not Bo.
Yeah, okay. Bryson. Yes.
I was like, somebody get a temperature check.
Maybe
on Harry.
Bryson's team should take over Bo Hostler's stuff, and maybe they can, make him interesting.
Oh man, we have to do a ranking of Harry, of his top most annoying players.
Oh yeah.
Cause some controversy there. We'll stir the pot a little bit.
I don't know if I have a legal pad long enough to list the amount of players that annoy the crap out of me on the tour. But anyway.
Let's talk about lists, Harry. Golf.com released their golf top 100 of courses. The list is complete. Who knows? Did the experts get it right or wrong? I do want to point out number 1 through 20 on the front page alone. We always talk about what an embarrassment of riches Philadelphia is. PV ranked number 1, Oakmont number 5, Marion number 8. So we have 3 Pennsylvania courses on the top 20. Following that up, we have Fox Chapel number 82, Aronimink number Aronimink number 84, Philly Cricket, Wissahickon number 98.
Just made it in, right? Yeah, just under the wire for
I was kind of surprised at that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Because I looked at some of the other ones on that list. Now I haven't played them, but I'm looking at some of these names of these courses. I'm like, Philly Cricket's got to be more highly regarded than that.
Oh yeah, I'm going through the list and I'm like, huh? I'm like, what's going on? Because I'm like, let's see where our Philly courses are. PV is, no brainer. Oakmont, you're like, okay. And then Marion, you're like, yeah. But then the rest, I was like, wow, I'm scrolling to see these here. So
that's why they do lists, so they get discussion like this, where you say, oh, they're crazy. This course doesn't belong here, or this one should be way higher. They're not. That's why you do lists. We used to have to do those in sports radio. And when the days are slow, you do a list.
I remember when Fax, I was at his house and he was creating the top putters list. And we posted it and we put it out and we got such backlash. Do you remember this or at all?
You mean like players that are great putters?
Oh, yeah.
Or actual putters?
So, pardon me. The top 10 putters, people like human player putters. Yeah. So, he started making the list and he made one glaring omission, and that was he didn't include one female. So the Twitter universe or X universe went up in arms.
It was wasn't a whole inclusive big thing. Enough. The list.
Save that for, we don't want to open that can of worms with me, but who cares?
Was Lauren Roberts on that list by any chance? Because they used to call him the boss of the moss back in the day.
I remember that. Actually, there was I remember I got Brandon probably 7 or 8 years ago, a putting green called the Big Moss or something like that. And then he told me, he's like, the boss of the moss. And he told me all about it. But no, but he said, I thought it was known that I meant PGA Tour. But the thing is, we gained so many followers from it. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, even bad press is good press. Yeah. So we got a lot of people chiming in. But like you said, the lists are made to create controversy, stir the pot, and get some people who are really passionate about some thoughts to talk, despite if anybody else wants to hear it.
Absolutely.
Harry, I'm still sad that you didn't go and try out for Happy Gilmore 2. Ben Stiller, Hal, has been seen on the set of Happy Gilmore 2. So that kind of made my day. I saw that. I was like, this is great. And I saw his, the whole get up, the stash, everything else. So, but I don't know. For me, it's always the sequel, if you will, is never as good as the first. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on a sequel,
there is.
To live up to the initial, especially when the first movie is so good.
Exactly.
I think of Caddyshack. The sequel to Caddyshack is awful.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them, but then you have one like The Godfather. Godfather 2 was actually better than Godfather 1. I mean, so it does happen where the sequel sometimes can be not only as good, but even better. But not often. And
I think Happy Gilmore's, a tough cup to fill to make that better. It's like Space Jam when LeBron came out. I'm like, you're not Michael Jordan. You're not the modern day Michael Jordan. This is dumb. Don't touch it. It's not broken.
So Ben Stiller's in it. Now he's in that AT&T commercial with Jordan Spieth that revolves around golf. Remember that?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Where he's hitting the ball and he's in the middle of the desert and
all over. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah,
it is.
And then he has a couple different characters.
And then he calls Jordan at the end, and Jordan has to get him out of a jam. Yeah, so that's the way it ends. So so I'm
sometimes
sure
they get creative.
Golf. Yeah.
If you were on X or, Instagram, any type of social media today, you had to have seen that WNBA player Caitlin Clark is playing in the Annika Pro-Am today. So it's all over. And it's like, yeah, we've seen Steph Curry do this. But again, we got to talk about the ladies. So, yeah, she's out there. She's playing in that. I think she's playing with Leila Vu and Nelly Korda. So, yeah. So Annika's this week. The 2024 race to Dubai comes to a close at the DP World Championship this week. So your other favorite, Rory, will look to clinch his record-tying 6th Harry Vardon trophy.
Okay,
so we shall see.
Gives you something to watch early in the morning.
It does, real early.
But regarding the Caitlin Clark thing, I saw something before the show that, she's playing in that Pro-Am and hit like a bad shot or something. Must have hit like
she
a
almost
bad shot.
Did you see the shot?
I didn't see the shot, but I just saw that she said Caitlin Clark is human or something. And there's no more a sport or an endeavor to humanize anybody than golf. I mean, you could be the greatest at whatever, and you get up there and try to hit a golf shot, you can look like a total fool. Yeah,
but I mean, for me, I guess people, you want to see who's playing. You're super excited about her. So she's on the tee box, and just like PGA tournament, both sides are completely lined at least I'd say 20 feet out. So she hits a tee shot, shanks it, and nearly takes out a fan on the left. But it's like, look, this is a Pro-Am. She's not a pro player. Heads up, you might be losing a couple teeth if you don't watch out.
I think those people are nuts to do that with a professional golfer.
Yeah.
How they get so close.
Oh, you should see when I'm getting content. I trusted Brad the other day for some wedge shots. He's like, you sure? I'm laying on the ground with the camera, and I trust B with it too. But there's probably only a handful of players that I would trust laying on the ground with the camera in front of. But if it's a Pro-Am and it's, a celebrity or another athlete, if you will, that's hitting the tee shot, I don't need a front row seat. I want to keep my teeth.
And Moose and I are not on that list of people you trust with a golf club either.
Yeah, I'll stay behind you. I'll get you down the line behind.
Exactly. Yeah, that's better. That's my better side anyway.
Oh, man. Staying on the topic of LPGA golfer Jennifer Chang had her bag of numerous clubs destroyed by Delta, but found some humor with it, saying that's what they call a Delta grind. Her, I don't even know what club it is. It's maybe like a 7-iron or something like that. It's, someone just drug it across the ground or whatever, but her entire bag was burnt and ripped open, and then her clubs literally. But I thought it was funny. I laughed a little bit. The Delta grind.
Wow.
I found some humor in it,
Yeah, that's good. But that's why I use ship sticks whenever when I'm going to Arizona. The wife and I are going to Scottsdale in a couple weeks. I already have the ship sticks already stored, and I use a hard case.
Oh, smart.
I don't use the soft cases because of stories like that.
Did you get the Apple tag like I told you?
The Apple tag?
The Air tag?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, what's
it's like $70 for 3 or 4 of them. I got them for Brandon, and I said, you put them in your clubs, and then you put it in, your luggage.
Oh, is that where you know where it is at all times?
Oh, you get notification if it's traveling with you, it's leaving. So actually, I learned this from Michael Collins. He told me, he's like, oh, they were like, sir, sorry, your clubs are missing. He's like, actually, no, here they are.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, okay, yep, we'll have them for you in an hour or whatever. So I was like, wow, I need to get that for B. So I got them for him, and now he keeps one. I said, put it in your carrying case and in your golf bag, just mix it in with the tees so nobody sees it, because somebody can take it out, just throw it and be like, hey, now it's going down 95,
right?
know. But so we put 2 in his golf bag, and then 1 in his luggage, and then you can track where it's at, so you can see.
How do you get it? How do you get them?
Oh, you can. I think I got mine from either Apple.com or Best Buy.
Oh, wow.
And then you can get a little case to put them in. I got mine from Amazon.
Wow.
And then you just throw it in there, and then you can track. So actually, Joe Clark too. Friend of the show.
Yeah,
I got a notification on my phone last year, and I was like, it's like an air tag has been traveling with you. And I'm like, is somebody following me? And I'm like, Joe, do you have an air tag? And he's like, oh yeah, my wife got sick of me losing my $400 tailored jackets, one of a kind jackets, or $1,000 jackets, whatever it was. He goes, so yep, there's one in every, because he said he'll get on a plane or something, take his jacket off, leave without it. And his wife was like, come on. So now she puts it in the inside of his jacket.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh,
if we don't have
cool.
enough to worry about, we can just write off another thing and say, let technology figure it out.
Exactly.
So yeah, check out those. That might be good to throw in your bag too when you're traveling.
Okay.
Or use that company in the stick ship. Ship sticks. Say that.
Yes.
Say that 5 times faster.
No. I'll say something we're not supposed to say.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think I actually might have just said that. But the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. So we see a lot of players coming back. Defending champ Camila Villegas, Nico, Kevin Yu, Jonathan Vegas, Nick Taylor, Peter Malnati. They were all winners this season. So excited to watch a little golf down there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to discuss the Butterfield and more. We got a lot of other stuff to get to on the other side, and we'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Harry Mays, Danielle Matthews. We got to get into the Butterfield Bermuda Championship, and it's funny when these guys go to these exotic places. It's nice when it's cold where you are and you can actually watch the television and see, this gorgeous ocean and coastline and palm trees. And yeah, exactly.
I'm looking out my window at the palm trees going, but Harry, it's a little gray. Some clouds, really uncomfortable 81 degrees and windy.
Yeah, right. Screw you with your 81 and uncomfortable. It feels like it's 40 degrees here today, no lie. And it's a great day. It would be a great day to go hit balls in the simulator over at the Penn Club on 2nd, because it's always a great day. Climate controlled. I was in there the other night, and it's just, you walk in, you're freezing, right? And then you go in there, and it's like 72 degrees.
Take the jacket
everything's
off.
Perfect. Yes, you got perfect lies, and you can really work on stuff. It's terrific. But we got to talk about the Butterfield and Port Royal golf course down in Bermuda. This was, you had mentioned, Camila Villegas is defending. He won this last year. It was a very emotional win because it was the first one since the tragic loss of his daughter, which was really cool. And he actually is the co-holder of the course record for 72 holes at 24 under par with Brendan Todd, who also won at 24 under a couple years prior.
I haven't heard a lot about him lately.
No, he's in the field this week, but yeah, he hasn't. He kind of got on a little hot streak a couple years ago and has kind of come back to earth. But it's a Robert Trent Jones design back in 1970, so not an old golf course and not a long golf course by PGA Tour standards, only 6,828 yards. But, obviously with these coastal courses, it all depends on the wind. If the wind is up, and it usually is, that's what defends the golf course. 3 par 5s, the 2nd, the 7th, and the 17th, and then 4 par 3s, 3, 8, 13, and 16. And 16 is part of what you can see behind me here, is one of the most picturesque golf holes in all the world. It's, like Moose was down at Teeth of the Dog.
I was there,
once or twice, and they've got holes similar to this. But the par 3 16th hole is a 235-yard, breathtakingly beautiful, scenic golf hole along the cliffs and the Atlantic Ocean. The tee shot across the cliff to a green perched up on its own peninsula that is narrow from front to back, bunkers short right and left, and then a large trap from the middle of the green on the left all the way around the back of the green. A really cool hole. And then you go to the par 5 17th, you start coming back the other way. So a wind directional change. And it's got 2 traps on the right side where the landing areas, and then a large pond starts on the left. So it's a very narrow landing area off the tee. And then the approach is to a raised green with 3 traps up the right-hand side. And, they're talking about, going this shot in 3 holes. Not these guys. It's 507 yards. Most of these guys will be easily getting there in 2, depending on the wind. But the closing holes, the par 4 18th, 410 yards, turns back around. So another wind directional change. You're going up and back and up and back. It's an uphill tee shot to a tiered fairway with a trap left and right. The approach to a 3-tiered green, front to back slopes with a trap short left and 1 to the right, and on the back. And the winds are out of the north-northwest, ranging from anywhere from 14 to 21 miles per hour for this tournament on Thursday and Friday, and then it changes to the west-northwest on Saturday and Sunday at upwards to 25 miles per hour. So the wind will be up, and they'll get rain likely on Friday and Saturday. So weather is going to have an influence on this golf tournament, and it's really kind of a cool layout. I really like this golf course. It's a place I'd love to go play. And you actually, if you go to Bermuda, you can play it. I think it's one of only 2 public golf courses on the island of Bermuda.
Yeah, I know it's not easy to get to. I was going to go like last year, and then I actually didn't realize it was. I thought it was further south than what it is. But yeah, like you said, the design of this course, 18, like I think is such a cool hole going upward. Like imagine, teeing off on 18, knowing you won, going up with all those crowds around with the big clubhouse behind. I think I was following along on the app.
It's like
it really is
area there. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
You have people lower watching, and then the clubhouse is just stacked. But one thing, as you were saying, I was like, all right, there's palm trees. Harry always says Akshay Bhatia plays well when there's palm trees. I didn't see him in the field.
He's not in the field. No, he's not in the field. The highest ranked players in the field are Seamus Power and Mackenzie Hughes. You got, of course, Doug Gim, Ben Griffin, who's playing well. Lucas Glover's in there.
Oh, we have Philly guys. Sean O'Hare's playing.
Yeah, he is. That's right. That's right. Yeah. But I just like the golf course, so I will tune in, and I like looking at beautiful water. And like you mentioned, like Bermuda's it's really off the coast of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about it like that. But
it is, because I was like, I just assumed it was kind of off by, not to sound, like my geography is that off, because it's pretty good. But I was like, well, it's just, a little slightly north of the Bahamas. And I was like, whoa, okay. It's up there.
It is.
It is. We got the 2 brothers, I think, are playing to the Wesley Brian.
Oh, the Bryans?
Yeah, I think they're paired together this week.
That's cool.
George and Wesley. So
Christo Lamprecht is in the field too, from the Corn Ferry Tour, the big South African that played at Georgia Tech. He won the amateur over in Britain a few years ago. He's 6'8". And I don't know if you saw on social, but the MyTPI, the Titleist Performance Institute, that did a whole thing with him, analyzing his swing, because he's so athletic, and it generates so much clubhead speed. But it's kind of rare to see somebody that tall with such a great golf swing.
Yeah, smooth, because it's not like, I mean, it's all those hormones, everything else they've been putting in the chicken. I feel like every 16-year-old is like 6'5" or taller. I'm like, what is going on?
Is that what I missed out on? The hormones? Is that why I'm
the
so
hormone
short?
Injected chicken, Harry.
Oh, man. This is the penultimate event too on the FedEx Fall. So the only one more to go after this, and that's the RSM down in Sea Island, and they actually do have that on the simulator at the Penn Club.
Let's go.
So perhaps I'll go over there and play a couple of shots on one of the holes.
You have to
put it up on social media. That would be.
We talked about this before. It's the new segment. Harry's going to the Penn Club. He's going to preview it. We're going to get some content. We're going to show you some of, maybe pick like the most challenging hole and the most picturesque hole.
Maybe I'll pick a hole where I think I can make a par on. How about that?
Give yourself more credit there.
Now, I did win $140 worth of skins at the 1912 Club last Saturday.
Birdie, eagle?
It was an actual par net birdie on the second handicap hole, which was the par 4 17th hole.
Okay.
I made a nice 10-footer up the hill for the putt for a 4 for 3.
Let's go.
Figuring it might be a net skin, but it also ended up being a gross skin. So I won both of them. That's, pretty crazy. So
show me the money.
Yeah, exactly. $140. My wife was glad about that. She's like, how much did you win? But, so we got a lot of other stuff here to get to before we see the line on this tournament, because one of our listeners and one of my buddies, Brandon Rail, and Brock Kovac, got a big win last week at the Spring Haven Cup down at Spring Haven Country Club. Not too far from my house, right down the Blue Route. It's a big tournament with a really great field, and they ended up winning it by 3 strokes.
Wow.
Brock Kovac plays out of Ledge Rock up in Berks County.
Oh, yeah.
And Brandon plays on one of the many GAP teams from the Philadelphia Cricket Club. So big week for Brandon. Congratulations to both of those guys. And if I looked over that field, I mean, there's A lot of sticks.
Yeah.
A lot of sticks in that field. Yes. So congrats to them.
Very
that was
cool.
pretty cool.
Congrats, guys.
And the other thing I really want to get to before we see the line is right now it is live. The auction is live through December the 5th at 7:30 p.m. is when it closes. And the auction I'm talking about is the auction for Game Changers 2024 for the First Tee Philadelphia. There's a tremendous fundraiser for them. And I mean, they've got unbelievable items. First of all, they got the Pebble Beach raffle, which is always huge. But they've got golf experiences galore. I'm just going to go through some of these with you, Danielle.
Yeah.
And like we got, obviously, the Pebble Beach. They got Marion on here, Oakmont, Aronimink. Just going through some of these. Baltusrol. Let's see, what else? We got golf with Brent Selleck at the Cricket Club. Philadelphia Cricket Club. Sleepy Hollow is on here. Caves Valley, Congressional down in the D.C. area. Harding Park out in California. The Ridge at Backbrook, which is a tremendous golf course in New Jersey, not too far from here. Galloway down by the shore. Canoe Brook, Bitterman, Black Wolf Run out in Wisconsin. I mean, you name it, they've got it on here. So just go to the First Tee Philadelphia's website, which is firstteephiladelphia.org, and you can get a link from there and just bid on it, man. You got until December 5th, and it raises a tremendous amount of money. It's one of their biggest fundraisers that they do each year. And I've actually gotten on some great golf courses as a result of this. I remember Lancaster's on there, and I also got on to Riverton, which is a really cool below the radar Donald Ross course over in Cinnaminson, and I got that through winning an auction here on the First Tee. So
yeah, and Harry put that up on our X too. So if you guys go there and you're following us, you can grab the link there as well.
Absolutely. All right, now is it time to see the line for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship? And Butterfield, by the way, I think is a bank in Bermuda. Oh. I think that's what it's for.
It's not a field where they grow butter.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with butter. Some people refer to cash as butter. So cheddar,
I mean, if you're winning,
butter,
you can get a little bit, not as much as the main big event, but.
No, but it's still it's
a little
FedEx
bit of butter,
Cup points, and
a little cheese,
a win. A win can change any of these guys' lives, like Justin Lauer, for instance.
For sure.
But the favorite is Seamus Power and Maverick McNeely are the co-favorites at plus 1,600. Seamus actually won this event back in 2022. Mackenzie Hughes making an appearance was the last time we saw him in the President's Cup, or did he play one of the other fall events? I'm not sure, but he was definitely on that President's Cup team for out of Canada. He's plus 1,800 and might have moved back down to plus 2,000 now, because I think Doug Gim and a couple of these other guys, Ben Griffin, are also plus 2,000. Lucas Glover plus 2,500. So some good value there with Lucas. But I'm going to go with a little Johnny Vegas. I'm taking Johnny Vegas, who won at the 3M a couple of months ago in Minnesota, plus 300 in a top 10. And I'm also going to take him in a matchup at minus 115 over Rico Hoey. And I'm also going to take our pal Ben Griffin, who we're still efforting to get on this show, in a top 10 at plus 190.
I like that.
Those are my plays for the.
Harry, do you know how Johnny Vegas spells Jonathan?
It's JONATTAN.
Give it to him, ladies and
How
gentlemen.
about that? I was not looking either.
He has it this big on his computer.
Yeah, right. But he got a win a couple months ago, playing well, and I'll take Johnny Vegas out of the University of Texas.
Well, we were talking about butter and cash and cheese. When I was just looking to see Mackenzie Hughes and the last time he played, I saw this pop up. U.S. players may soon be paid for competing in the Ryder Cup. Nothing official yet, but rumored amount per player is $400,000 and awaits approval at the board level. It's believed there are no plans for European players to be paid, just the Americans. Wow. So what do you think, Harry? You think you should be paid to represent your country?
I don't think you should be, but you know, I would never say no to 400K if I was one of those guys.
Same.
I think most
But
of
what
them,
an honor to
I think
play for your
most of them
country.
are, yeah, it is. Most of them are fine playing for free. I think there's just a couple
Except
of guys,
Patrick Cantlay.
Patrick Cantlay, to name one, who seems to want to be paid for it. But you know, hey.
But I mean, they're giving you dinners, they're giving you like galas, the wives are getting outfitted, the guys get this full, you know, they got all the beach ratty, whatever it was stuff. Like,
right.
You know, we want more.
Yeah, exactly. They always need more. But I don't know. Do you have anything else? I think I'm about out of content.
I think we're good.
You know, unless you just want to talk about our own games, because one thing I'm working on right now is, especially, and I think I hit every fairway on Saturday.
Where
in that round at the 1912.
Oh, club. Yeah. Where you got the birdie.
Pronating my right foot at address with the driver, especially. It's most notably needed in the longer clubs.
Did that come from a lesson, or you discovered this yourself?
I've been doing a lot of research. I haven't had a lesson. My next lesson will be in January, but I've been doing a lot of research myself, and it prevents a power loss, number one, and it also gets me off my right side in the golf swing, which is something that I struggle with. Okay. I got to get forward and off my right side. Better.
Harry, let's do this. Let's take your swing, put it on social, and have people roast you like Max Homa does.
Yeah, really?
Maybe not roast Harry, but give him some feedback.
Well, that's no, it wouldn't be feedback. It would be roasting. That's what it would be.
But have you seen what Homa does? People send him swings constantly and ask him to.
I would send him a swing.
Maybe we do that.
I would do that, because then maybe we could get him on the show.
There we go.
I'm all about the show. That's it. All right. Well, we'll be back next week, and Moose will be back, and
we got some guests coming up, lined up.
His new addition to the family, hopefully today, and we'll talk about it next week, and we'll also preview the RSM and go back and look and see who won the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Until then,
get out there and swing and ding it. That's what Moose named his baby.